Alright, hello everybody, my name is Senkara, and I am turning down the volume. My name is Senkara, and welcome back to another episode of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. I'm in love with this girl. I was gonna say these girls, and then I just focused on this one specifically. I mean, look at her, she is the cutest thing ever. So if you don't know what we're doing today, we have finished all of the routes in the, Doki Doki, yeah, we're doing side stories today. We're going into Reflection Part 1. That was a mess of an intro. Let's just get into it, shall we? Begin side story, yes. I'm not necessarily looking forward to this one because it's a Yuri and Monika one, but I mean, we like Monika, but I'm more looking forward to the next one, which is Yuri and Natsuki. And you know I love Natsuki. Natsuki and Yuri. What is this music? I love it. Am I bothering you? No, not at all. No. Okay, just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you're reading. It makes me scared to interrupt. Aw, and that's sweet. Well, it's within my expectations, yes. It's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it. Oh, okay, well that's good. As long as it's in your expectations, then I guess it doesn't matter. That makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a little bit of prodding. It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work. Same. Relatable. I like that. So it can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then. Yeah, I vibe that, 100%. If other people are there to make me be social, then yeah, that's a pretty good thing. It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone, or there are too many people, or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with. I feel that. Yuri glances across the room at Sayuri and Natsuki. Sayuri has her head cocked back and her mouth open, trying to catch pieces of a... I just imagined that. So, it was so cute. She makes that face though, you know, like her surprise face, but more open, and I don't know. That's cute. Sayuri has her head cocked back and her mouth open, trying to catch pieces of a cookie that Natsuki is lobbing into the air. But the pieces keep bouncing off her face and hitting the floor. Aw, Sayuri. You too. Maybe I should say something. I'll just leave them be. No need. They just ran out of cookie. What a waste. They've really become good friends, haven't they? I'm happy. Sayuri seems particularly good at making that happen. Yeah, we gotta learn from our girl Sayuri. How do you do that? But the two of them are both on the energetic side, so I suppose it works out well. Yeah, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, have we? Ah, this is gonna be fun. Okay, I like this. Though it may be partially my fault since I'm supposed to be the one engaging club members. Not at all. I've probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself, probably. The responsibility is equally on me, at least to display some openness to engage. Well, what about during times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends? I think she has friends. We don't have friends. What are friends? What? I just read. Oh. But I like it that way. It feels nice to be carried off again after a morning of classes. Do you always read fantasy? Oh, not always. I suppose it's all I've read recently, but only because I'm in the middle of the series. There are still 2 more books after this one. I guess those long books suit you well since you spend so much time reading. Well, fantasy may be my favorite, but after that I'm more or less indiscriminate to genres. Crikey. I'll read anything with depth and maturity. I mean, I can read these words fine, it's just when I'm doing it with the Yuri voice that it makes it difficult. Oh yeah? Even like, romance? Well, there are a lot of books that have elements of romance in them. Yes, especially in the fantasy genre, and I love fantasy romance. Oh, come on, Yuri, you know what I mean. Monika lowers her voice. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, so I won't tell anyone if you do too. Why is it a guilty pleasure? Romance is great. I like romance. I am not ashamed to admit that. I love romance. If a book has a romance, if it's fantasy and romance, that's the one. That's the kicker. Romance on its own, in terms of books, probably not as good. I don't think I've ever actually read a romance-only book. But I've read like A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I love that. That was a fantasy romance. That was 10 out of 10. Maybe more when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely and people were mean to me a lot. Aww, Yuri. Aww. I love Yuri now. Now that we've done her route, I'm much more appreciative of her. So I just kind of felt like, please don't make me think about the past. And now she sounds like Hachiman. Sorry, I just got super curious. You know, we should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun. I would be keen, can I join in? Let's go. Absolutely not. Really? Even if it was just between us? Try asking someone who has no shame, like Natsuki. I mean, you're right, but... Hey, leave our girl alone, for starters. And also, there's nothing wrong with having no shame. And it's Sayuri who has no shame, not Natsuki. Natsuki has shame, sometimes. But for the most part, alright. Nothing wrong with that. I have no shame, and it's good for you.
Sorry, I swear I didn't mean that.
Well, I guess it's my fault for pressing you. I'm like that for things in my past too, you know. Things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience. There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. I don't like that term, growing out of it. You shouldn't grow out of things. There's nothing more mature about not reading romance anymore. You know, it's not a grown-up thing to do. You don't grow out of it. But I guess you can lose interest is fine. That's good. Just grow out of it. See, oh, here we go. Here we go! After all that effort it took me to love her and her route, here we go. For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit of how intense I used to be about my own interests. It makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too. One does not simply grow out of manga. Manga is literature, you piece of crap.
Hey, were you talking about me?
No, we were just... This is why I'm looking forward to the next side story, so Yuri can somewhat start to understand, hopefully.
We were just talking about how our interests have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki? Like a couple years ago, I guess?
Yeah, you go, Natsuki. You wear that smile with pride.
I was already sort of into it before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then. Oh yeah? What was it that inspired you to get more into it? I don't know. I guess... let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Yeah, I was just really fed up with a lot of things and got super into this one series that I really related to. See, that is what anime is all about, and manga in this case. That is what it's all about. The relatability. The realism of it, okay? It's all about the realism that American crap just can't get right. And your fantasy novels, I bet, can't get right either. But manga, that does it. That's the only type of thing that does it. Sometimes books get it right too, you know, like the occasional fantasy novel will get it right. But much more so with anime and manga, just constantly nailing it. That's the Japanese for you. Maybe Japanese novels are better too. Actually, yeah, like light novels and stuff, which they make anime and manga based on. Probably for the same reason. So, there you go. Anyway, run over. I guess I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be by myself.
Yeah, me too. I vibe that. Yeah, that's me. Hey, kinda like Yuri, yeah. I bet you'll grow out.
Monica?
Sorry. You right, though.
That's completely wrong, so... It's still cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but it sounds like they helped you a lot through hard times. Yeah, always. You know it. Well, wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading? It's technically slightly longer, but not by very much.
I'm glad we have Natsuki in this side story, so I can be happy.
How high did you think it would go if you stacked up the whole series?
Natsuki estimates by holding her hand high above her head, sizing up an imaginary stack. She's so cute. I bet one book is taller than you little adorable piece of crap. Anyway.
I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long, so I can say I've read more than you.
Not that I have the money for that.
Please, that would hardly count when your books only have a few words per page.
She is right in this case. I read a manga recently, Komi Can't Communicate. It was pretty good. I read the first volume. It only took me an hour to read the whole volume. Like, jeez, that went by so fast. Way too fast. And they're like $20 per volume, so... yeah, that's why I don't read manga. I know I can read it online, but it's not the same. I don't like reading online.
I know, I was just joking. I could never actually read books like yours. It's too boring for me. Oof! Oof! Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki. It's not boring. Yeah, I was a bit rude, Natsuki, okay? Don't need to insult her, but I mean, she has been insulting you constantly ever since you arrived, so I'll let it slide. Not because she's Natsuki, but because Yuri started it. Chill, I said for me, not for you. I have my own opinion. I just think it's too convoluted. Sayuri, are those from the floor? Oh, Sayuri, don't eat cookies from the floor. Gross. Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books. But my hands aren't dirty. Just do it. The oils are there, even if you can't see them. Fine. Book nerds, am I right? Sayuri trots out the door and Natsuki follows, just to make sure she actually washes them. Yuri, you look a little upset. You okay, Yuri? What kind of nerve does she have to call my hobby boring? It's boring for her. But I feel I understand. Well, she did correct herself. Hardly. She was so condescending. She said it was convoluted. I don't know that I was condescending. You've been condescending this whole time. That was more of a compliment to say it was convoluted. Well, I suppose, I don't know. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I already understand that it's not for everyone. But she knows well how much these mean to me. So how about just leaving me alone instead of endlessly telling me things you hate about it? Oh, poor Yuri. I'm sorry, Yuri. You might be right. This won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like. Especially in a literature club. So I should figure out how to mediate discussions to keep them positive and constructive. Yeah, you go, Monica. For the record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books, and also your ability to get through them so quickly. Thank you. See, I can read Monica's lines well, it's just Yuri's voice that I can't handle it. Let's see if I can read Monica's line in Yuri's voice. So this is Monica, but I'm doing the Yuri voice. Okay, well this is something that I have to think about and revisit. Yeah, no, it's the voice. It's definitely the voice. Okay, well this is something that I have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Natsuki find common ground with you. See, it's easy with Monica's voice. I almost slip up, but then I just keep on trucking. But with Yuri's voice, I just can't do it. Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected. That then. Either way, I'll do my best. I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. Well, I'm skeptical when it comes to you. Okay, Yuri? I'm skeptical when it comes to you. I trust you, Monica, but I'm skeptical. Okay, well stop being skeptical and try to find common ground with Natsuki. Okay. Thought we were ending there, only 15 minutes, but no. Okay, everyone. Hey! Her catchphrase. We have a special club meeting today. Is this music new? It sounds new. I think it is. Very Japanesey. I like it. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the Literature Club is a place where we get to share things that we're really passionate about. But that also means that we should be mindful of how we respond to each other's feelings. Oh no. We're having an assembly meeting about feelings. Ugh. I think we have the chance to turn our differences into positive energy for each other. Yeah, I appreciate it, Monica. We don't need the lecture. Aren't you being a little dramatic about this? Yes, she is. This is important to me. Okay, fine, I'll accept it. Well, sorry. I just feel like I'm being accused or something. Yeah, I felt that too. I understand. It's okay. No, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm sorry if I came off that way. But our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language. Oh, that was yesterday? Okay. And I thought it would be a good topic for the Literature Club, don't you think? That is true. That language is pretty important to literature. As a linguist, I am keen. Let's go. I'm sure we're going to have differences in opinion a lot, so I need to make sure we're prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club. If you say so. Sure. The cool thing about language is that it gives us a lot of different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving our thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. 100%, I agree. For example, Sayuri, what's your favorite food? What is your favorite food? Cookies? I bet it's cookies. I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks or do you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast? I love Sayuri. Look at how serious she gets when it comes to food. It's so cute. I love her so much. Oh jeez. Okay, how about your favorite fruit? That's easy. Cherries.
Cherries? Disgusting! Really? Right? Really? I always thought cherries tasted nut. You go, Monica. She's listening to me, isn't she?
What? Cherries are delicious. No, they're not!
How dare you make me say such a revolting phrase?
Whoa, that's a pretty strong reaction. Well, I just don't understand how someone could think cherries are nasty.
Have you ever eaten a cherry? I bet you just like them because of the color. They look kind of nice, but they're not. They're horrendous. Horrendous things.
How does it make you feel?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
I don't know, sad?
Defensive, maybe?
Yeah, I got defensive. See, the reason you had such a strong reaction wasn't because I don't like cherries. It's because you felt like your opinion was under attack.
Which it's not. You should really learn to get over that. What I'm going to teach us here is not what Monica is saying, that we should be mindful. It's that you should get over it, honestly. Like, it's other people's opinion should not matter to you, okay? Don't get into defensive state, just be like, alright, what ifs? And people always insult my food taste, I'm just like, alright. Sometimes I feel like I can defend myself, but I just can't be bothered, so I don't. And that's the mindset you want to have, okay? No looking good.
It's because you felt like your opinion was under attack. But that's weird, right? Something like taste is completely subjective. But when I say something like, I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language.
Not really, you said the word think, so, I mean, I think that's okay. I think that's okay.
I'm challenging Sayori's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty. Unfortunately, only one reality can be true. It's not Sayori's, so sorry about it, but facts overcome feeling. Facts don't care about your feeling. Wait, hold on. How is that objective when you said it was only your own opinion?
Exactly, it's not. You're right, Sayori. You're right, Natsuki. It's not objective. It's completely subjective. She even said that. Opinion is subjective.
It has to do with the way our brains interpret the words.
While some people's brains are stupid, it was subjective. Natsuki's the non-stupid brain here.
You're talking about the reality of the cherries, not your own feelings about them.
Well, when I talk about cherries, and when Monica says her opinion, you know, she is spitting facts. But it was subjective wording.
Like Sayori. Let's rewind for a second and pretend I didn't tell you I think cherries are nasty, which they are. Good. So what if instead of that I said, like, I've tried cherries and they're not for me. It's not the kind of flavor I enjoy.
I see what you're saying. I guess we can learn a bit from this. But when it comes to opinions, okay, as long as your opinions agree with me, then you can say whatever the hell you want. Like cherries are nasty, you got it. You're just spitting facts at that point. I don't know what to tell you. If you say pickles are horrendous, you're spitting facts, you know? You say no mustard on my burger, you're spitting well, that's actually a request, not facts. But if you say mustard is bad on a burger, you're spitting facts because mustard is bad. So you're good. But if you say onions are bad, then you can get the hell out because you're wrong, okay? You're wrong! That was a shot at my editor here. She knows what I'm saying.
Well, that's fine, as long as you don't call them nasty.
Like pickles. They are nasty. Nasty is a nasty word. Don't say that about nasty. How dare you? That's nasty. Nasty. I should say it Americanly. I bet you guys are all like, oh, nasty. It sounds all posh and shit. No. Nasty. Nasty just sounds wrong. Nasty sounds nasty. That's nasty, man.
Okay, so cherries was kind of a weird example, but I think it gets the point across.
Especially when cherries are horrendous, so, you know, it's true.
This time around, instead of talking about the cherries, I just talked about my feelings, and Sayori didn't get defensive. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we received an invitation to talk about our differences. Curie, you don't need to take notes. I'm not gonna quiz you or something.
Is she taking notes? Oh,
I know that. I was just...
Oh, Yuri.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you like. But does anyone have any thoughts so far?
Yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid and we should stop being stupid. Just get over it.
Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't have to put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feelings.
You're absolutely right, Natsuki. Natsuki's spitting facts today. That's my girl. See, this is why I love Natsuki. She's got it, man. She has got it. She won't care if people, well, she does. She says manga's literature all the time, but I mean, they are actually being offensive about it, not saying, I don't like manga. My personal opinion, manga, in which case they're wrong. I don't know how I feel about this, but you're absolutely right. You shouldn't filter your language just to protect someone's feelings, unless you're, like, don't be a dick to people, obviously, you know. Don't intentionally make people feel bad, and if you can avoid it, then avoid it, but in some cases, you know, you don't have to filter it. They should get over it at that point.
Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. I am fully okay with coming across as an asshole in regards to freedom of speech, alright? Well, like, I just gotta throw that out there. If I look like a jag, I don't care. It's my opinion, cherries are horrendous. Whoops. I'm only suggesting that it is a tool to help turn your differences into a positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sayori? I guess. Alright, fine. It's just when it comes to sort of opinions on meaningless things that I am like that, you know. If it's an actual important conversation, I'm not gonna be a dick about it, right? But if it's about the taste of cherries, I mean, cherries are horrendous, so, you know, I'm okay with that. It's like if someone said strawberries were bad, then that person clearly has some sort of mental illness, but I wouldn't get mad about it. Right, Sayori? Whatever you say, cherry hater. Oh, come on. Sayori, I actually like cherries. I was just saying... Disgusting! What the heck? I've been duped! I'm sorry, Sayori. I'll make it up to you later. How about a cherry... What are you doing? Oh, you're welcome to dupe me anytime, my beloved president. Oh. I love Sayori so much. Buying your people's loyalty. How deplorable. Oh, like you would turn down a free sundae. I would if it was a cherry sundae. You were certainly not a fan of those cupcakes I brought in the other week. Oh, really? How could you not be a fan of Natsuki's cupcakes? That was, I was reading and not keeping track of them. Oh, that's enough. We're getting off topic. Wait, did she say she was a fan? Oh, you were certainly a fan. Right, that makes a lot more sense. So now that we have the gist of it, how about we try it with something more relevant to the club? Like manga, right? Let's try to have a productive discussion about our differences in opinion. Uh-oh. Oh no. Yuri, do you want to start? Well, I'd rather not, no. Aw, how come? Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. She's absolutely right, I don't. Well, we could correct your mental illness and not liking manga. That's another problem. It's diagnosable by your doctor, and you need to see a psychiatrist if you hate manga. It's just going to start a fight. No, it'll be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm and rational discussion. Alright, yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child. You don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectable to just speak your mind. You go, Natsuki! I love Natsuki so much. Respectable? Yuri's expression changes at that word. As Monica recalls, being respected is the crux of the matter for Yuri. Well, the point is, the exercise isn't exactly like, it's fine. I have nothing against anyone personally. You're entitled to enjoy whatever you like. Unless it's cherries, in which case, stop it, please. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. Okay, see, now, I was spitting fire before about how you should get over it if people's opinions are off, okay? But, problem isn't that she prefers more depth and nuance. I'm keen. I do too. The problem is she thinks that manga doesn't have that. Which is just, it's wrong. It's so wrong. I have read a lot of fantasy books. Fantasy is my favorite genre when it comes to reading books. So I've read fantasy books, okay? I read some pretty big books too. I've read some your fancy mature books, and they don't have the same depth and nuance as manga. They don't. They simply do not. They have more depth and nuance than some manga, admittedly, but overall, nope. They don't. They simply don't. I'm sorry. That's not an opinion. I'm spitting facts here. Like, that's not actually an opinion. You can't opinionate that. I look for stories that are imaginative and sophisticated beyond the surface level. Again, clearly, Yuri has never read a manga in her entire life! Oh well, that's just a misunderstanding then, see? Yeah, she's got it. That is very much a misunderstanding. I thought you were gonna say mangas for children or something, like I don't hear enough of that. But there's plenty of deep manga. There really is. I'm not clueless about manga. I think you are. I mean, my opinion is that I think that you are completely clueless. I've read my own fair share when I was younger. Well, you're probably reading kids' manga then. What? Are you serious? How come you never told me? Because I'm past that point in my life, and I really prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now. Alright,
Somebody get this girl Elfin Lied. Come on, Elfin Lied manga. We need we need Elfin Lied in here. Need Elfin Lied or Tokyo Ghoul, that works too. You know, give her some Death Note or whatever. Have her read Naruto. She probably won't understand the maturity. She's not mature enough to understand the depth and nuance of Naruto. Excuse me? Yeah, here it comes. Okay, hold on. Can I jump in here? Let's try to keep things subjective. Because if you imply manga is immature, then you aren't implying that someone is immature for being into it. Aren't you? Sorry? Yes, she is. The answer to that is yes. Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you. 100%, you're absolutely right. Natsuki, she's right. Nobody's immature. I think Yuri might be. I've read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasy, and I love them both in their own way. Okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring. Boring isn't subjective. It is when she words it like that. She finds it boring. That is subjective. That is completely subjective. Whereas manga is not mature is stupid. It's not subjective. You're stating a fact that is just wrong. And she's clearly doesn't read manga. That's what pisses me off so much, and I can't interject and actually tell her this, which is making me very mad, so I'm putting it on you guys. If any of you don't like manga, which I can't imagine because, you know, you're all fans of me and we're watching Doki Doki, so presumably you like anime at least or something. But you can all testify that this is just wrong! That's what annoys me so much, is because it's wrong. Boring is subjective though. If she finds it boring, that is subjective. I see no problem with that. Like if someone says I find Yu-Gi-Oh boring, then they're wrong. Well no, that's just stupid. They're not wrong because it's subjective. It's subjective. You can find it boring. You're just an idiot. And that is okay. It's okay to be stupid. Okay, it bores me. That's subjective. But I mean, the thing about this is ridiculous. Do you see why I didn't want to participate in the... What is the... I'm sorry. I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. Somebody explain to me the problem. I do not see it. She thinks it's boring. She gets bored by it. That's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. If Yuri got bored by manga, again, there's a lot of different manga. If she got bored because she prefers to have more words and explanation rather than pictures, then that's okay. I understand that because I also can get bored like that. Like, I don't like comics. I like manga. I don't read it much though because I'm friggin' blue tack in my hair. No! Because of that same reason. I kinda get bored reading manga sometimes. I do like manga because, again, it has the nuance and maturity that Yuri's talking about. But yeah, I just don't like having all the pictures. I would prefer to just read. Honestly, I would just prefer to watch anime, actually, but I knew it was just going to make people upset. Well, that's your fault. I'm not upset. You look kind of upset to me, sweetie. Like I said, I don't care what other people think, but I always got the impression that you secretly looked down upon me, so I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed. I feel that, yeah. That's not true at all. You're making assumptions. Maybe. You can't blame me for getting defensive when nobody has the least bit of respect for the things that I'm into. Who doesn't respect what you're into? Wait, I'm sorry, who doesn't respect what you're into? Okay, Natsuki kinda isn't because she says it's boring, but everyone thinks that you're all fancy and mature for it, which I don't get at all, honestly. I see a lot of immaturity coming from Yuri because I've met a lot of people like Yuri who think they're all, oh, I'm sure mature. I mean, Yuri doesn't think that. I know these people don't think that, but they say things like, oh, manga's immature, you know. I prefer things more mature. Come on. That's just stupid, and you're being stupid. Stop being stupid. But if you think that, long novels is boring, I mean, that's okay. If you think manga, because of the format, is boring, then that's okay too. I get that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you think it's immature, then you're just being stupid. I'm sorry. Like, you have not read all of the manga. You've clearly never read Elfen Lied, which is a manga. Yeah. And, like, most mangas aren't immature, so you're just stupid, and I'm sorry. Like, that's the problem. Do you see the difference between opinion and stupidity? There's a fine line, but a big difference. The only thing I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being myself and trying to mime. No one's making fun of you! Like, I see where Natsuki's coming from. I get that Natsuki is a bit off in what she's saying and that Yuri's not actually a dick, but
Yuri is just, I don't see it. I don't see anyone making fun of you. I see Natsuki thinking that her particular book is boring, and that's okay. That's not an insult, but no one is making fun of Yuri. That's the thing, no one is making fun of Yuri. I don't understand. What? Have you looked in a mirror? Right? Tell me again about respect after calling all of my interests immature. You can't... Please stop. Please? You don't mean the things you're saying right now. You go, Sayuri. Let's just be friends. I too shall look away dejectedly. I didn't mean for this to happen. Well, it did. Yeah, I saw this coming. So please don't invite yourself to try and solve other people's problems next time, okay? Oof. That's an oof moment. Yuri's piercing words send the clubroom into a choked silence as she gathers her things. She leaves. Holy crap. I've never heard her sound like that before. She must be so pissed. Well, you weren't very nice either, so... What did she do? Okay? What did she do? She didn't do anything wrong, okay? Yuri did. Natsuki did not. This is not me defending Natsuki because she's my girl, okay? She is my girl because of this, right? Because she didn't do nothing wrong. She might have been a little... No, I'm sorry, that's Yuri's problem. Natsuki thinking that her books are boring is Yuri's problem. But Yuri thinking that manga is immature, that is not Natsuki's problem, because that's Yuri's problem. Again, because that's stating an objective thing which is just wrong and very ignorant. That's the word, ignorant. It's very ignorant. Whereas thinking that Yuri's books are boring is not ignorant, unless she hasn't actually tried reading some of them, in which case, yeah. But if you think that just reading in general is boring, then okay, whatever, sure. You should probably try and read more books, because reading can be pretty good sometimes, it just depends on the book. But, yeah, thinking that Yuri's type of book is boring, that's okay. If she said that Yuri's books were immature, then I would be like, shut the frig up, Natsuki. But she didn't, because she wouldn't say that, because she gets that. I was just saying, how did this happen? I don't know. It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I shouldn't have tried to moderate a conflict when I know how bad I am at dealing with conflicts. Oh, Monica. It was a really stupid thing for me to do. I'm glad that you're trying though, Monica. I really appreciate that. It's nobody's fault and it wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person. Nobody would have expected this. But I guess we're sensitive about things we really love. Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Yeah, you probably shouldn't say that right now. But you're right. You really shouldn't be saying that though. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down on other people for it, that's kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not about sugarcoating things, it's about recognizing and understanding our differences. But you were talking about sugarcoating things. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Spit some facts, let's go, Natsuki. Yuri actually looks down on me. That's nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that. So I see what you're trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her, not just like the way we talk to each other, right? Yeah, 100%. I don't think Yuri actually looks down on you. I mean, she kinda does. Whether she means it or not, she kinda does. She's saying manga is immature, and that is looking down on people. So, yeah, 100%. I mean, Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you're giving her credit for. Yeah, like, I get that, Sayuri. I know Yuri's not like that. She doesn't actually look down on people. She doesn't think she's high and mighty. But she is looking down on manga when she says it's immature. That is... Whether she realizes it or not, she is looking down on it. And I'm sure if she realized that, then she would stop it and try and fix it. But she doesn't. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should. It'll be fine. I'll figure something out. Wow, I'm just like saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself up to cause more problems. This wasn't your fault, Monica. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it's good that the truth finally came out. Because I can just move on now. See that? That's maturity. That's what I'm talking about. Yuri's old saying how manga's immature and how her books are more mature, but Natsuki is the one showing it.
Alright, Yuri's the one who got all upset and stormed out and was being a bit of a bitch, to be honest. She was being a bit of a bitch. But Natsuki is like, whatever, I'll just move on. She's got it. She's got it hands down. We all need to learn from Natsuki here. You just be like, whatever. Alright, yeah, okay, cool. Okay. You're gonna be a dick, then you're gonna be a dick. Okay. I'll move on now. I know the truth. That's all good. That's all that matters. Truth is all that matters.
But, it's fine, I promise. Let's just get our mind off this, okay?
I always knew Natsuki was the mature one.
In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri's superiority complex. Oof. Ouch. Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga or whatever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay?
Go, Sayuri. You're a sweetie.
Sorry. I'm just bitter.
I appreciate that she recognizes that as well.
Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have the answers, but I at least know that we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience.
Monica says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force the reassuring tone in her voice. This was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged with each other, the least out of anyone, and this is the reason, which is why I'm looking forward to the next side story, Natsuki and Yuri. As Sayuri and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with manga, Monica sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really have to just come to terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other? None! None! You can be completely incompatible and still show love. We actually had a sermon about that this morning. It's Sunday for me currently. At church this morning, our sermon was speaking about just that very same thing. You know, loving people that you don't get along with. Monica desperately doesn't want to admit that, and she knows Sayuri doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't seem to be in sight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think you should turn to the Bible and see what it says about love. Honestly, whether you're religious or not, just read what it says about love and do that. Just do that. Love each other. And new side story unlocked. Reflection Part 2. Epic. That was good. That was a heated episode. I got heated in that one too. I was like, for goodness sake, Yuri, stop being a bitch. But you guys understand where I'm coming from, right? I hope I don't seem like I'm just defending Natsuki, because I'm not. I'm defending what I think is correct, okay? Which is why I love Natsuki, because she knows what's up. And she is clearly the mature one here, not Yuri. Everyone thinks it's all Yuri mature, but that's not what maturity is. People have the wrong opinion on what maturity is, and if y'all want a video on what maturity is later, I can do that for you to really explain it properly, because I can't do it right now. But I often defend Sayuri over Natsuki because Sayuri knows what's up a lot of the time, but Natsuki's got it, okay? I'm sorry. This was Yuri's fault. This is Yuri's problem. Not Natsuki. Natsuki's not at fault here, and everyone seemed to sort of agree with that. They didn't really disagree with her, though, just sort of I feel like I shouldn't agree with that, but you kinda got a point there, I mean. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the matter. I hope you enjoyed. I hope y'all agree with me. Let me know if you think anything different. I'd like to hear different opinions. Different opinions, let's go. Team, that's what it's all about. And, drop a comment, leave a like if you enjoyed, and satisfy me by hitting that subscribe button. Clonk! That was a clonker, sorry. And hit the bell icon to be notified of when the next episode will come out. Reflections Part 2 should be coming out this week, assuming that my editor is onto it. And, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's Doki Doki. And until next time, see ya.